Match play week, match play week, match play week. There's only one match play though going on this week. Trotty will be at the Goat Hill match play. He's only down to the final 8. There are 2 types of golfers that make it down to the final 8. Sandbaggers, and you have lucky people. I am lucky to get this far, but I'm still going. And this is how you do a logo. Check out that logo. Never mind the Dell match play. Only get yourself some Goat Hill match play. Goat Hill match play. What is puring? Puring iron shafts, what does it mean? What is it? It's spining a golf shaft. It was huge in something like, I want to say, early 2000s. When I worked on the European tour, it was massive. We were doing it all the time, puring golf shafts. However, it has declined a little bit. But if you go on Scotty G's trailer and you look at the SST Puring process and do it yourself. If you're going to go out and you're going to investigate, go and have a look at Puring. They put the golf club in a device, the shaft this is. We're all talking shaft. They manipulate it, they maneuver it, and they put a weight on the end, and they figure out when this shaft starts bouncing around where the spine is. Because most golf shafts will be rolled, so they're going to have a section that's the spine. Then what the player does is they align that spine at the target. I myself, I'm not a big believer in it. I don't think I'm good enough. But I'm still in. I don't know if I told you, I'm still in the last 8 of the Goat Hill match play. You're either a sandbagger or lucky. Figure out which one I am. I don't think I'm good enough to tell the difference when it comes to puring. But that doesn't mean that you guys are not good enough. Just because I think that does not mean that's the way it goes. Mike.Leong.28. Anyone testing 50 gram shafts? Not at the moment, my friend, but I have in the past, especially when I worked out on the Asian tour. There was a lot of 50 gram stuff. Now, this question came up a bit. These 1Ks, I think you're talking about a new golf shaft from Mitsubishi. Not worked with it yet. I'm not bullshit, you guys. I haven't worked with that golf shaft yet. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know a ton about it. That comes to the same thoughts on shortening driver shafts. It all depends how you individually deliver the golf club, okay? Don't go out there and think everyone can play the Bryson deal. We saw what went off with the Bryson deal. Rory spoke about it, didn't he? He basically went out there and said, listen, I've got sucked into the vortex that is the Bryson gig. I'm lost. What's going on? Same applies. Just because you think you might need shorter, I would look at as a fitter, angle of attack for the player and where they get in relation to the plane on the downswing. Plane, what are you talking about? We're not talking about flying anything here, guys. We're talking about downswing, where that club gets, and that can impact the length, but not as much as swing weights will impact that. So keep an eye on swing weights. It's a combination. I don't have some secret sauce that goes out here and gives you guys the perfect golf shaft. It's a combination, guys. You've got to find the right combination for you. How about this one? You guys are blowing it up big time today on the hearts. A what's in the bag for someone who's in the last 8 of the Goat Hill match play. I'm not going to do it because I'm going to save it for YouTube. I'm going to save it and see if I can get a little bit further in the Goat Hill match play. And if I do, I will then do you a what's in the bag. Does Matthew Wolff just not like blades? These bad boys, these MCs, trust me, they're not the easiest to hit as it is. You have to get it. Cart Barn guy, what's up? You have to get it bang on out the centre of the club in order to hit your yardage. So just because we might sit there and think, okay, tour players are going to use blades, it's not always the case. A bladed iron is easier to shape. You get a combination of this bad boy. I mean, look at that. That is a cavity back, albeit a small cavity back. But I can still shape this plenty enough that what I need in order to hit certain shots. And I dare say you guys could too. Now in a long iron, I have the 770. And it's not because I want to have every piece of technology that's going. It's just if I'm hitting long irons into greens, the peak height's higher, the descent angle is steeper, plus this is a little bit easy to hit. But it does come off fast, okay? Faster. So the changes in the speed I've adjusted when I've made the loft grading through the set. You can see this 3 iron has a speed pocket. That's that black line across the club, across the sole. Speed pocket means the face is going to give you a bit of speed. It's going to spring a bit like COR trampoline in drivers. But in a 3 and 4 iron, I'm not massively worried about distance control as much as I would be through the set. Should I play the same shafts in my wedges that I have in my irons? Wolffy X1 in his wedges, but generally players will play softer in the wedges than they will through the set. But they will also make the swing weight, which I feel like I preach a lot, but I'm going to keep talking about swing weight. You can find it on YouTube. Go to TrottieGolf on YouTube. In there is a whole video section on swing weights and what they are and the balance point. Play your wedge swing weights a little bit heavier, okay? That way, you're going to get the feel around the greens. When you play those short shots, you grip it down, you use your hands, you use your feel, you get all your fingers on there, and you play the short shots. You want your wedges to have a heavier head. Trust me, it'll give you more feel. But I'm not talking 35 grams, 45 grams. We're talking like 8 grams heavier. It's a little bit, but you will feel it. Even if you are a happy hamburger and you can't golf for love nor money, you're still going to feel having wedges that are heavier. TW wedges versus the mill grind wedges. I have the standard mill grind wedge. The bounce on this bad boy is 10 standard. Look, I even had to look. That's a lot of bounce. But I play here in Southern California on Kikuyu, which is an alien grass to me. We didn't grow up on that grass. So the bottom line is I like the bounce in order to get through. You know what I mean? I use that bounce to get through the turf. The Tiger Woods wedge has a much sharper leading edge where my fingers just ran along. It cambers, then it flattens out, then it does other things. If you're legit and you have an awesome short game and you are decisive with the shot that you choose, I mean by that, okay, you stand up there and you go, right, I'm going to lay my blade that open. I'm going to commit to that because I'm then going to reveal this part of the bounce. I'm going to have the angle a little bit more upright and then going to use more of the toe. And you can make those decisions every time you step in. Get the Tiger Woods wedge because you're committed to the part of bounce you're going to use. If you need a little bit of help with wedges or you worry a little bit sometimes about giving it the consistent delivery because you live a normal life, you have a normal job, working on the PGA Tour for TaylorMade, and you don't play golf every single day of the week, get yourself a mill grind too. And if you play somewhere like me, where the grass can be a bit thicker, get yourself standard bounce. However, if you are Hoylake bound, Wirral massive from the UK playing links courses all the time, low bounce, I would be an advocate of low bounce. Swing weight, Danny Morris, Wirral massive, how's it going? What smaller putter grips do you recommend? I keep a stash of player putter grips in here. Which ones do I recommend? Here's what I'm looking for. Smaller Pistol GT with the TrottieGolf logo on it. I like that. I'm a big fan of that. That's super stroke. However, I also want you guys to make your own thoughts and have your own minds. Just because I like super stroke, I like the bigger super stroke, like the Fatso 1.0, but that doesn't mean that you have to play it. And let's be honest, this bad boy, this is Tiger's old grip, blacked out. It is a classic, but it's very, very thin, very thin. So when you go this thin, my call out to you would be look out for the head weights. I'm going back to swing weights. I will talk to you over and over about swing weights. Look out for the swing weights because if you go putting on a skinny grip like that pin grip and you have a head weight on your putter that Scotty Cameron made 350, the new cool, didn't he? But let's say you go heavier and your swing weight is high D's, low E's, you're going to struggle with that skinny grip because it's going to have too much give. And the shaft is probably going to be too weak for the head weight. So you want to then, and this is a great tip, this is an onion for people who ask me what onions are, play your head weights lighter, 340 less. If it's a 35-inch golf shaft, get it into like D4, D5, if you want to go skinny. Do not go any heavier than that because it'll feel minging, which means horrific for those of you who don't understand scout. I also found this in there, US Kids. How good are these guys? How good are US Kids? I have my son and daughter play a little bit, not as much as I would like. That is a key piece of equipment for any kids out there. Can you explain the difference between last year's TP5 X, and this year's TP5X. Yes, I can. I might have some somewhere. Let me see. Your biggest difference between the two golf balls is the dimple pattern. I don't remember the marketing name for the dimple pattern, so no one tell me to TaylorMade. But they made a new dimple pattern. That's why I was fannying around looking for a box. Don't remember what they called it, but it's a legendary new dimple pattern. That's what the marketing gump says. It says legendary new dimple pattern. Gives you a different launch, different peak height, different descent angle. Do you know what it really does? Yes, I do. The TP5X, because I've tested it a lot, from 2020, and it might be 2019 it came out, make me a liar. The TP5X from last year versus the TP5X from this year, you're going to see more spin off the wedges. My testing has also found you're going to see more spin off the driver. That's my testing. It doesn't mean it's right for everyone that's out there. That's what I've seen. If you need spin and you need it in those short irons, the new ball is money. Local boy golf, here's a home run question for me. Trotty t-shirts run big or small and between medium and large. Probably get the large fella, so when you have a few of those Asahis on a Friday night, you don't feel out of it, but they run a little bit more fitted. I'd say get the large. Appreciate the support, anyone out there. Swing weight experiments, do we just use lead tape? Yes, definitely. Get yourself some lead tape, start there. 2 grams of lead tape is 1 swing weight. Don't go straight for the grind wheel and start taking it off. D4 would be the heaviest I'd say to go. I play D4 in my woods, and then I play D3 in my irons, and then I go 4-5 in my wedges, and 6 even in the lob wedge. Okay, guys, last question. How did you get into your job? I was a club fitter at the Belfry in the UK, and we started to kill it with sales. If you kill it with sales at the retail level, it will attract attention. I cared about the person's golf game. Don't just sell that individual the biggest price tag. I always wanted to get them on the right clubs for their game, on what worked for them. And I think that shone through. And I think if you do that, you're going to get noticed. Make the sales reps aware that you want to work for the big OEMs, if that's what you want to do, and go away and learn. What I will say, when I started out on the tour for TaylorMade, I didn't have a Scooby-Doo about tour fitting. I was good at commercial fitting. I was not great at tour fitting. It's a completely different thing. You got to learn a lot more about swing weights. You got to learn a lot more about feel. And that is where I think commercial fitting needs to go. We all need to know more about swing weights. We need to know more about the makeup of a golf club. Because a lot of questions I have when I go through this list are, what's the best golf shaft? Well, the best golf shaft right now today is probably the Ventus Black, to be honest with you. But it is seriously stiff. Seriously stiff. So if you're borderline playing that golf shaft, it would be a bit like local boy 24/7 buying a t-shirt from TrottieGolf. He doesn't know if he's a large or a medium. You can get away with a large. You can get away with a Ventus Black if you play it in a heavier swing weight, if that's the route you have to go down. But in order for me to directly tell you what's right, I would have to see you hit balls. Any detailed insight into the daily routine on a Tour Pro, gym, breakfast, ranges, I mean, they work really hard. It's more of a question to be asking a Tour Pro. They do have a set routine. Golf Forever app, which I have punted before and I will continue to punt. The Golf Forever app will give you a lot of the stuff that tour players are doing. Check it out. Use the code TROTTIE, TROTTIE, and that'll get you, I think, 30-day free trial. Golf Forever, as people I know in the industry, that's the best place for you to go. Use the code, don't use the code. It really doesn't impact me. But if you want 30 days free, that's your place to go. What's Tommy Fleetwood like to work with? He's a top lad, for sure. He's from the north of England. We all like Tommy Fleetwood. Very precise on his equipment changes. Maybe a little too precise for my liking. I think with a lot of tour players and a lot of what we talk about, if you can just go out and be an artist, you can be a better player. Equipment's the same, golf lessons are the same. All this stuff is fantastic, but remember to be the artist when you play golf and don't go out there and just get lost with everything. Jason Martinez Golf, probably an easy question. Can at mid-handicapper play blades? I don't think you should play blades if you're a mid-handicap golfer. Some people love to. If you're a purist and you want to play them, play the damn blades. Golf's about having fun. If you think playing blades is going to make you look cool and that's going to make you have fun, play the blades, keep playing golf, keep coming back. That's all I'm going to say about that. Right, folks, time for me to love you and leave you. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it, and I will drop another Q&A at some point. Local boy golf 24/7. You the man. Wish me luck. Go Hill Park. I'm going through to the last 4. Ta-da!